Welcome to the Memorizing Pharmacology podcast. I'm Tony Guerra, pharmacist and author of the Memorizing Pharmacology book series, bringing you mnemonics, cases, and advice for succeeding in pharmacology. Sign up for the email list at memorizingpharm.com to get your free suffixes cheat sheet or find our mobile-friendly, self-paced online pharmacology review course at residency.teachable.com/p/mobile. Let's get started with the show. Okay, welcome to the Memorizing Pharmacology podcast. What we're going to do is some flashcards, and if you are on the email list, then you'll also get a one-page PDF of the notes, and then you can quiz yourself on it. So if you want to get on the email list, just go to that memorizingpharm.com. When the immune system reacts to a foreign substance and makes antibodies that identify a particular allergen as harmful, even though it isn't. This is number one. And what we want to do with a question like this is we want to take out the words that are most important. So immune system, foreign substance, antibodies to an allergen isn't really harmful. Okay, so something like that would be an allergy. So again, that allergen, allergy, very close together, but that's what we want to watch out for. And if you look at the word allergen, and you think of the word generate, that is to create something, an allergen creates a response, and then an allergy is the problem of having that response. Okay, and we can double check, and we see that yes, that's correct. Okay, let's go on to question number 2. A severe, potentially life-threatening allergic reaction. Many of you would get it just from that one, but I want to talk a little bit about the word and how sometimes being able to break down the word into its Latin and Greek can help you out. It can occur within seconds or minutes of exposure to something that you're allergic to, such as peanuts or bee stings. And some of you may have heard this as an allergic reaction or very severe allergic reaction, but it has a word, and it's anaphylaxis. And if you look at the word phylaxis, this Phylax, that comes from the word phalanx. So if you've ever seen the movie 300 where they put all the shields together, that's a phalanx. And so an anaphylaxis is putting that phalanx together to protect the body. So what anaphylaxis is doing, while it's this very scary closing of the airway and all of that, it's actually meant to close off the airway to protect your body by shielding it from whatever's happening. Ana just means again, so it's really again guarding is what it is. Okay. All right, let's move on to number 3. A bluish or purplish discoloration as of skin due to deficient oxygenation of the blood. And so this is the key, the bluish skin, and it's a condition of. So those of you that know medical terminology, you're like blue. Okay, what is blue in medical terminology? Okay, that would be cyan. And then what is a condition of? That would be osis. So you put together a condition of having blue, and then that would be cyanosis. Process at the alveoli level where blood is oxygenated and carbon dioxide, the waste product of cellular respiration, is removed from the body. Okay, so what we're looking for is what's the word here that's going to help us out. Okay, so blood is oxygenated and carbon dioxide, the waste product of cellular respiration, is removed. And this is an exchange. What we're basically doing is we're trading oxygen for carbon dioxide. And so this would be a gas exchange. The oxygen is the first gas, carbon dioxide is the second. Yep, gas exchange is it. A deficiency of color, especially of the face, paleness. And that word paleness really gives it away because there's a word that's a synonym for paleness, or this deficiency of color, and that is, pallor, P-A-L-L-O-R, so the P-A-L, and then we just add an L-O-R to make pallor. Okay. All right. An effect that is opposite to what is expected. An effect that is opposite to what is expected. And again, we're using kind of our medical terminology, kind of our Greek and Latin. An effect that is opposite to what is expected is going to be paradoxical. And when you break that word down, para actually means contrary to, and then doxical is an opinion. So it's contrary to the popular opinion of what should happen. So you have seen this word para, especially where you talk about enteral versus parenteral, or parenteral. So you've seen enteral where you give it GI, and then parenteral is actually outside of the GI system or contrary to the GI system. Okay, and maybe we don't talk that way, but the whole idea is that we're breaking down these words and understanding, okay, contrary to the opinion, all right, paradoxical effect. But then we would want to have an example. What is a paradoxical effect? Well, with something like diphenhydramine, which is Benadryl, we expect to see some drowsiness. So a paradoxical effect would be excitement. And that happens in about a third of children that take diphenhydramine. Really don't recommend antihistamines in young children. So when you see paradoxical effect, you can think of, that kid bouncing off the walls, because Benadryl is doing the opposite of what was hoped, which is that it would make them drowsy. Instead, it's not making them drowsy and taking care of their allergies, but making them very excited. Okay, number 7. The total number of breaths or respiratory cycles that occur each minute. Okay, so when we're talking about total number and we're talking about respiratory, that would be respiratory, and then per minute would be a respiratory rate. Okay, respiratory rate. And then number 8, okay, so matter is expectorated from the respiratory system, and especially the lungs, that is composed of mucus but may contain pus, blood, fibrin, and microorganisms such as bacteria in disease states. So when we think of an expectorant, we think, okay, well, what's an expectorant supposed to do? What's it dealing with? And that is dealing with sputum. Okay, sputum. Okay. So then we would think, well, what is an expectorant? We'd say, okay, well, when we're talking about Mucinex DM or dextromethorphan, and we're talking about the other ingredient, which is guaifenesin, that would be the expectorant. So sometimes we get confused between Mucinex DM, which is expectorant, guaifenesin, and dextromethorphan, antitussive or cough suppressant, and Mucinex by itself, which would just affect the sputum as an expectorant. Same thing with Robitussin and Robitussin DM. Robitussin is just the expectorant, and Robitussin DM includes the antitussive, which is dextromethorphan. Okay. So again, check out, if you're on the email list, I've already sent you the PDF. Otherwise, you can find it as an attachment on the Memorizing Pharm website. Okay, well, we'll go next time. We're going to do a case study where we're going to look at someone who needs to use a peak flow meter to assess their level of asthma, and then we'll kind of move on from there, from respiratory to our next section. Thanks for listening to the Memorizing Pharmacology podcast. You can find episodes, cheat sheets, and more at memorizingpharm.com. Again, you can sign up for the email list at memorizingpharm.com to get your free suffixes cheat sheet, or find our mobile-friendly, self-paced online pharmacology review course at residency.teachable.com/p/mobile. Thanks again for listening.